Chocolate or vanilla? Which one is better? I don't know. But what I do know is we're going to cover which one is better, platform or agency. Now, chocolate.
Hello from Detroit. I am Eric.
I'm Brad, and we got a special episode today because the two of us are together.
We are kind of the towers of power. But we are going to use Brad's brain as our treasure trove here for this one question.
Okay.
When is it better to use a platform for your influencer marketing needs? When is it better to use an agency? Platform or agency? Platform or agency? We're just going to jump right in.
Let's do it.
Tell me, in your opinion, when might it be to a CMO's advantage to go platform?
Yeah, so look, platforms can be really advantageous for a lot of brands when they have a really particular, precise idea of what they want to use influencer marketing for, and it doesn't require video. And the reason I say it doesn't require video is because it's so important in video for people to be able to really internalize and understand the subject matter. And frankly, it's really hard to do that when you're trying to do a platform and you're trying to execute things pretty narrowly. But it's fantastic if you have a program where you're running and it's more of an Instagram post. It's something that's static. And it also works really well in the micro and nano influencer space. We won't get into the debate about how you want to define those. Safe to say, if you're working with really small,
low cap
influencers,
where there's many, where it's not going to be very cost effective for an agency to be able to, get that program up and running for you.
Exactly.
You can farm that out yourself, and you said Instagram is more stable platform, less dynamic, needing a lot, or I guess having a lot less brand risk.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely
agencies
right.
will help.
Yeah, agencies can really navigate you if you're just to dive into it maybe.
Yeah,
if you're trying to mitigate,
a natural segue into when the agency is a good option.
Yeah, anytime you want to mitigate your risk, it's great to have a trusted partner who really has relationships, understands nuances, is in constant communication with the influencers, versus if you're running a micro influencer campaign and you want to run with 1,000 people, that time to run that is inordinate. And especially if they're smaller people, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze unless you use the platform. So platforms win 10 times out of 10 when you're running with 1,000 micro influencers and you want to have it be narrowly focused to specific, verbiage and to specific static images in this case.
And we've talked about this before on this channel. Another way to mitigate risk is the fact that an agency is typically going to have deeper relationships, and they're going to have other deals going with creators. And if a creator is doing a one-off deal with a brand and it goes sideways, that brand has very little leverage to pull that influencer back, make some extra requests outside of the original scope of work. But the agency is going to have a deeper relationship and also leverage to really ask that influencer to go the extra mile, to maybe adjust messaging, because there is a bit of slippage in play in any influencer marketing effort, which is what makes it good in a way, because it is organic and natural. These people are putting their reputation on the line because it's
for every brand deal they do.
It's a good product. I'm putting my name behind it.
Yeah, I think it's such a good point. I just kind of want to reemphasize one element of it. The reason why an agency can help with that and lean into that is because they're oftentimes running brand deals with 4, 5, 6 different brands with that creator. And so, yes, for a creator, it would stink to lose out on the revenue from a particular partner, but it would really be harmful from a financial perspective if that impacted your ability to run with 6 different brands. And so that's where agencies not only have the wherewithal to try to avoid those pitfalls, but they've got a little bit more buying power to lean on the influencers as well.
So just to kind of recap and give real high-level answers, platforms are good for things that are more apt for automation. Static Instagram, micro and nano influencer campaigns, and agencies are going to be more preferable when you're doing bigger deals, especially to get to bigger. I mean, YouTube famous isn't YouTube famous anymore. It's just famous. So when you're getting bigger deals, when you're really needing help to understand the space was another one.
Absolutely.
To really help you come up with what your KPI should be, how you can come in, and to help curate a creative campaign and help give you that expertise, and to also mitigate risk is another thing that we've said.
For sure. I want to add one other element to this too, which is I think it's important when you're thinking about a brand to really understand how easy it is for your brand and your value proposition to be understood. And where it's a little bit more nuanced is where I think it really benefits a brand to be able to leverage an agency, because the agency is going to be able to work hand in hand with the influencer to really help them understand what your product is, what some different options are for messaging to be able to have that content resonate with the audience. And on the flip side, when your product is very straightforward to understand and there's less of an education component, a platform works really, really well. And let's be honest, platforms are less expensive than agencies. So that's a great way to be able to cut some costs if your product is indeed pretty commoditized and there's not a really important story that needs to be told with it as well. So look, I don't think there's a clear winner in this in terms of agency or brand.
I think
agency or platform. Sorry,
agency or platform. I think the more guidance you need, just generally, you're going to be better served with an agency. If you have in-house expertise that really does understand the nature of your product and the nature of how influencer could be implemented, another way where a platform could be better, and you could maybe shave some costs, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And the agency is gonna be a lot more of a white glove service, and it is uncertain ground for a lot of CMOs, and just in light of that single overarching fact, I think you're going to be safer with an agency than you are in platform.
For sure, yeah. Safety definitely helps. I have one last topic I want to bring up here too, which is that my experience, and this is anecdotal, although we do have some data that supports it, is that the influencers who tend to be more on platforms tend to be ones that are much more willing to put their reputation on the line for a brand deal. And here's what I mean by that. So as influencers get bigger and bigger and bigger, they tend to not have the time, energy, effort, or desire to be on a platform, right?
They're going to be more choosy.
They're going to be much more choosy. And those that are dying to do brand deals, like that are on 4 or 5 different platforms, oh, by the way, there's 360 different influencer platforms on there. So I can assure you influencers are not on 360 different platforms. But those that are taking the time, energy, and effort to be on 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 different platforms, these are the ones that really want to monetize. They want to find a way to get dollars from their work, not necessarily the ones who really want to make sure that they have the right product fit for their channel. So I think there's a huge element to some self-selection in terms of the influencers that are on platforms as well. And so not just size, but also kind of their mentality and approach. And we work with influencers all the time who say no, not because it's a bad product, because it's not something that they use or they feel like fits into their daily life.
Which is just as good of an answer a lot of
times.
Answer, because that's a better option than pushing something that they're not going to authentically feel. So I mean, there's so many more points that I want to make, but I think
we should wrap it up.
We've covered a lot of the general high level of this.
For sure.
If you need more guidance, go agency. If you're really needing to cut costs and you're comfortable with the landscape, give a platform a whirl.
For sure. No, I think that's good. That's good advice. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Please consider following us on social, and we always love it when people send us notes, letting us know what they think about Thinking Out Loud. So by all
comment
means,
in this video about my performance in particular. I'm interested.
We know it's brilliant. That's all we got for today. Thanks, guys. So long from Detroit.
Bye.